officially start. So kindly, let's all be standing for the equity anthem.
Shall we pray? Gracious and everlasting God, we gather today here with hearts full of gratitude for the gift of this moment, a moment of reflection, renewal, and recommitment as we launch the Equity Group Sustainability Report. Lord, you are the creator of heaven and earth, the mountains and the rivers and the forests and the skies, and the breath of every living creature testify to your wisdom and goodness. Inspire us, O Lord, to be faithful stewards of all that you have entrusted to us, and help us to recognize that true transformation begins with responsibility. Responsibility to one another, to future generations, and to the environment that sustains us. As we gather here, Lord, may our efforts to protect and restore creation reflect your divine beauty and purpose. Bless every hand and heart that has contributed to this work, and grant to our leaders wisdom to make decisions that balance growth with preservation, progress with care, and prosperity with sustainability. We pray that this launch will bring new partnership, new ideas, a new commitment, oh God. And as we move forward, help us to be faithful to this call. We pray that, Lord, you begin with us, even as we continue with the event before us. Bless each and every speaker. May your presence be here. All is to the glory of your name. We pray this in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you so much. And just before you sit, ladies and gentlemen, it's a bit of a cold morning. Probably we know a bit of the reasons why. Why don't you turn around, give someone a smile, just a smile, someone you've never seen for some time. And I know Africans and smiles are not easy. You can shake the hand or give a fist to anyone around you, one or two persons, and then immediately after that, I will give you one more action. Excellent. Thank you. And as you're doing that, please, I've been given a hashtag by the communications team. Please avoid the temptation of taking a selfie with the person sitting next to you. Walk to someone else who looks probably, their smile was better than your neighbor's. Take that group selfie or something now. This is the moment. This is the moment. I'll tell you what to do with it. So please do that. Get out your phones. Take that selfie out. We have a hashtag that we shall be using today. So please, let's have that moment. Enjoy the moment. I love that. That's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. Excellent. Lovely. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. Let's enjoy the moment. Once you do that, you can take your seat. Once you do that, you can take your seat. This is very good. This is very good. Tech team could have my slides now. Thank you so much for that. Excellent. Some people are still negotiating about their good sides. It's okay. It's okay. Make sure you take the one. Lovely. Lovely. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, this is lovely. I think I've made people talk, which was good. Excellent. So very fast, if you do not mind, allow me to quickly give you some brief on the house rules for the day. And one is that if you need to visit the washrooms, they're just right where I'm pointing at, outside or this other end, then you'll be assisted. This place as well, we don't have any public Wi-Fi. It means people should need to network and talk, all right? So if you need to access anything, make sure you do that. The beauty about this place is that just in case, which would rarely happen, there's a fire, all exits are open. So you can you can just go anywhere around and you'll be fine, Next as well is that we expect you to participate with us. Today's launch and this amazing launch has been crafted in a way that helps people participate. And by the way, I have a hook on it. At the end of it all, today some 5 people are going to be gifted amazingly well because of being keen and interacting today. So we will find out later on who are those people. So you better be careful and be ready. I was from a table where they're saying they have to get all those gifts. So I see you. I see you very much. Thank you so much for that. And just moving on, I think we have, trying to move on to the next slide. Yes, that's the hashtag Equity Sustainability Report 2024. So in case you're wondering what am I supposed to do with the picture I took, use that hashtag. Just make sure you add a hashtag on it at the front. I like saying this. It's not a joke, but sometimes somebody told me, you made me take a picture with a member of the opposite sex, and when I went home, I had not posted. I had to answer many questions. So please use it and make sure that you post that. And because we're here, I like saying that the first persons to share it and to share this are going to get 100,000 shillings worth of, where's Alex? 100,000? Was it shillings or is it worth of applause? Just checking. Excellent. So please make sure that you interact with us on that. Now, how are we going to interact? This being the third one, and third one for me in terms of moderating this, and thank you so much for Equity Group for having me here. We have an electronic way of doing this, and I would like us to kindly, in the moment, just do this. If you don't mind, I want to move to the next slide. Yes, there you go. Kindly type in slido.com, and the passcode is equity. Just that, slido.com, and the passcode is equity. If you have a problem with typing and you have iPhone 18, You can scan. You can scan the QR code. Who is Murage? Murage, are you? Oh, that's you. That's you? Excellent. We will talk. See me behind the tent. At least this is a real tent, so we will have that. Thank you so much for the persons who are here. Faith Kathambo, thank you so much. Laureen, Peter Mwema, Jameen, excellent. Thank you so much. UNEP is represented by Nuran as well. I can see IFC is represented as well. Nick, thank you so much. Moses Nyabanda, excellent, great. Once I hit my 20, I'm very good to go. Lovely. We're already at 30 and going. Thank you so much for the sample. Kindly ensure that you are there and you're in the system, because this is going to be amazing as you do that. There's a quote that says this, that at the end of the day, true leadership is measured not by what we gain, but by what we sustain. Not by what we gain, but by what we sustain. And we shall be seeing that today as we go through this journey of the few minutes left for the launch of this, and I look forward to these conversations. But finally, even as we're doing that, which of these areas inspires you the most about equity sustainability work? When I was looking at the work that they do, all these areas are touched, but which one inspires you the most? Let's see from your own thoughts what you think. Is it about education and leadership, the work they do in ensuring we have financial inclusion? Is it on the climate action work? Is it on the food and agriculture? Is it health? Is it enterprise growth? Let me just see what your personal thoughts are. This is very personal. What you feel this one touches me the most. Let's see, based on work. A lot of people are saying financial inclusion. Excellent. 51%. This is good. They're also very closely as well with education and leadership. Climate coming as well closely. Excellent. This is good. This is good. Dr. Ari, I'm sure you can see what people are thinking here. This is good to know that your work, especially on the financial inclusion, which has been the longest journey, is having a transformative work as well. Thank you so much for that. Make sure you keep yourself logged in, because at the end of it all in that particular platform is where we shall be having this amazing conversation. So once again, allow me to just say welcome to all of you as we begin this particular day. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the Equity Group Managing Director and CEO, Dr. James Mwangi, to kindly come and start us off with the day. A round of applause to him as he comes to the stage. Karibu sana. And let's look forward to an amazing time.
Thank you very much, Maina. You always give us a challenge of following you when you speak, but I'm delighted that you have started us off there as well. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, development partners, members of equity boards, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very wonderful morning for you to join us as we soldier on this journey of sustainability. We warmly welcome you. We deeply appreciate your presence here and the choice that you have made. It's a difficult day, we all know, and I want to invite you to be all upstanding so that we can observe. Thank you. Let's all be upstanding, even those managing the media, in a moment of silence in honor of our late Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. May peace be upon you as you reflect on his legacy. May his soul rest in peace. Be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pride on behalf of the board and management of Equity Group Holdings and Equity Group Foundation to welcome you to the launch of 2024 Sustainability Report, themed A Sustainable World is a Transformed Africa. The theme captures our deep conviction that the world cannot achieve true sustainability without Africa being transformed economically, socially, environmentally, and institutionally. True sustainability must be owned by all, by communities, by enterprises, by nations, and by Africa itself for prosperity to be. Africa stands at a unique moment in history, holding immense promise, home to the world's youngest population, and endowed with vast natural and ecological wealth, unique biodiversity. The continent holds the key to solving some of humanity's most urgent challenges, principally climate change, food insecurity, and inclusive growth. Yet, while Africa bears the greatest cost of a crisis it did not cause, we refuse to be defined by vulnerability. Instead, we are determined to turn these challenges into engines of transformation and resilience. How we manage and harness these assets will determine whether humanity can truly achieve global climate goals, equitable development, food security, and shared prosperity. At Equity Group, we believe that a transformed Africa, self-reliant, green, equitable, and innovative, would define a new model of development for the world. A private sector-led development framework that will offer Africans a more prosperous future on their terms. Africa's success in sustainability is humanity's collective victory. While it is true that many global challenges, such as climate change, has been driven largely by the developed world, Africa today bears the heaviest cost. Yet, we refuse, once again, to be defined by vulnerability, poverty, and instead, we see opportunity and prosperity. Africa can turn these challenges into engines of transformation, but only through strategic partnerships, and I'm really glad to see our partners here today. Catalytic blended finance, I'm happy to see donors and philanthropists with us today, and innovative de-risking mechanisms, and I'm happy to see the UN agencies represented here. For together, we can unlock private capital for green and inclusive development. Equity Group has and will continue standing ready to play its part, locally embedded and contextually grounded among our people, yet globally connected and influential. We are building bridges between the African's potential and global capital, between local innovations and international best practices, between community empowerment and planetary sustainability. We choose to anchor sustainability at the core of our business. At Equity Group, sustainability is not an add-on. It is our strategic compass. It points to our true north. It is embedded in our governance, our leading, and our culture as our third engine. It guides how we invest, who we partner with, and how we measure success. Our African Recovery and Resilience Plan is our pathway to resilience and transformation. The African Recovery and Resilience Plan, as we fondly call it ARRP, remains our blueprint for inclusive transformation, anchored on a three-engine model. We are taking bold, forward-looking steps to translate our vision into action through several initiatives. In 2024, we deepened the integration of sustainability across our operations under our trio-engine model, our commercial, social, and sustainability engines. When we look at our commercial engine, we see it driving productivity and enterprise growth, from micro, small, and medium enterprises to manufacturing through borrowing, investing, insuring, moving, and savings, our business model. When we look at our social engine, powered by Equity Group Foundation, we see investment in people through education, health, enterprise, food and agriculture, conservation, energy and environment, social protection and technology, and innovation for young people to build their dreams. And you were right. We ask us, what is our single biggest impact? We are always torn between inclusion, education, and increasingly, people are saying the blood in future will be defined by health. So you were right. Help us to make it more impactful. In 2024 alone, Equity Group Foundation supported over 38,000 scholars, trained more than 72,000 farmers, and expanded Equity Afya Network to 132 medical clinics, with 3.3 million patients visiting the clinics. That is what the social engine is doing. Turning to sustainability engine, we see the group integrating social ESG principles across our lending, supply chain, and operations, mobilizing climate and nature finance while improving our resource efficiency. Through our blueprint, we continue to accelerate primary productivity gains through regenerative and climate-smart agriculture, agro-processing, and value addition, linking producers and markets. That is what we think sustainability is: commercial, social, and sustainability through climate and nature interventions. We recognize that this required an empowered and skilled population, hence our continued investment in capacity building to de-risk access to economic opportunities. We also recognize the centrality of clean energy, technology, and innovation fronted by African youth as the foundation of a resilient and sustainable future. These are not just enablers of productivity. They are catalysts for transformation that will power Africa's next leap forward. If you have not visited that tent, I want to invite you, and then you see how simple we can transform lives, livelihoods, and give dignity to our people by contextualizing their needs and transforming the way that they engage with each of these equipment. Catalyzing transformation through partnerships. At Equity Group, collaboration is our currency for impact. And I'm really glad to see all of you here, because we believe partnerships, collaborations, is the real new leadership. You are only a leader if you are collaborating and partnering with others. It's naive to think one can do it alone. Our formal cooperation with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is helping unlock the promise of Africa's single market. And we are glad we are 7 countries. And in those 7 countries, we see greater integration and the most advanced region in trade. And we take pride that in a humble way, we are helping through a private sector trade-led integration, stimulating post-COVID recovery and resilience, strengthening value chains, expanding intra-Africa trade, and directing capital to the sectors that create jobs has become our key focal point so as to provide jobs for young people in Africa. Through global engagement, from my role as a member of the World Bank High-Level Advisory Council on Jobs, to co-chairing the Sustainable Market Initiative by His Majesty King Charles III in Africa, our membership in the African Nature Capital Alliance, and our early adoption of TNFD standards, we are helping shape global thinking on nature, climate, and inclusive development. These platforms amplifies African voice and position our continent not as a victim of climate change, but a solution hub for sustainable growth. Our $1 billion commitment under African Green Industrialization Initiative is a bold demonstration of this resolve, giving green growth, low carbon industrialization, and sustainable livelihoods. I'm glad we are one of the early adopters of INGADAM 3, joining the World Bank to ensure that the 11,000 megawatts are generated by DRC. Once again, we don't see that as an energy project. We see that as a climate project in conserving and protecting the Congo Basin forest. We are also development partners in the Lungs of the World initiative, a continental effort to position African forest, particularly the Congo Basin, as a global public goods and sovereign national assets. Through this collaboration, we seek to align finance with nature, valuing biodiversity and ecosystem services as integral to African economic future, strengthening regional integration and inclusion. In 2024, we deepened regional integration through post-acquisition mergers of Cogebank into Equity Bank Rwanda, aligning governance, systems, and sustainability practices across our markets. We continue to build green finance capabilities and pipelines across Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Sudan, DRC, and Ethiopia, ensuring sustainability is not peripheral, but central to how we grow and serve. But this cannot happen without empowering people and driving inclusion. At the core of our mission is inclusion with dignity. We're investing in Africans' youth through education, leadership, and technology programs that convert potential into productivity and jobs in sectors such as agriculture, innovation, sports, entertainment, tourism, through SETS initiative, and are extending financial access to underdeveloped populations, including refugees and host communities, through affordable accounts, tailored credit entrepreneurship training, and social protection mechanism, ensuring no one is left behind. And I would really like to see Go IFC, the private sector arm of the World Bank, for really supporting us together with the MasterCard Foundation to ensure refugees are banked and are given an equal opportunity like anybody else. Championing sustainable development. On the sidelines of 2024 Annual United Nations General Assembly, Equity Group joined a growing list of institutions leveraging the Impact Disclosure Guidance as developed by Impact Disclosure Task Force, shared by JP Morgan, to prepare and issue a voluntary Sustainable Development Impact Disclosure report. As such, Equity has developed the Equity Bank Kenya's first ever Sustainable Development Impact Disclosure Report, which we will proudly launch alongside our 2024 Sustainability Report today. This milestone reinforces our leadership in transparent, impact-based reporting, anchoring finance in accountability and purpose, and furthering governance, as we all know. A performance that mirrors our purpose. Despite global economic headwinds that we all know, characterized by high inflation, volatility in exchange rates, and high interest rates, our performance in 2024 reflects resilience, innovation, and alignment with our purpose to use sustainable private sector finance as a force of good. These achievements belong to all of us, the board, our partners, our staff, and every stakeholder who shares this vision. We are united together by equity and given a common purpose of changing lives, giving dignity, and expanding opportunities for all. Looking ahead, as we look forward, we'll count on you. We'll count on our partnership and our collaboration. We'll scale blended and sustainable finance. We'll expand catalytic partnerships to unlock private capital, de-risk green investment, and accelerate the transition to low carbon and inclusive economy. 2, we shall drive green innovation and social inclusion. We'll deepen access to finance and opportunity through products and programs that empower micro, small, and medium enterprises, farmers, youth, and households by valuing nature assets for prosperity and poverty reduction for our people and ensuring none of them is left behind. 3, we shall strengthen governance, risk, and opportunity management. We will continue embedding ESG principles in our governance, operations, and disclosures, aligning with emerging global standards to build trust, resilience, and transparency. And 4th, we'll deepen strategic partnerships for social impact. We'll work with governments, development partners, development financial institutions to mobilize finance, share knowledge, and deliver sustainable Africa-led transformation. Together, these priorities will ensure that equity remains a catalyst for sustainable, inclusive, and resilient Africa, where sustainable private sector finance empowers transformation, purpose-defined performance, and development and progress are embedded in our future. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, this report is more than numbers. It is a story of resilience, of belief, and of a purpose in action. We stand rooted in African soil, inspired by her people and driven by a single truth, that a transformed Africa is a sustainable world. Together, let us keep turning purpose into impact and hope into lasting change. I thank you and wish you a great day.
Thank you so much, Dr. We can appreciate him one more time with a beautiful round of applause. Asante sana. Indeed, a sustainable world is a transformed Africa. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying that there's something special as well about hosting a sustainability event right here at the Arboretum, right? Excellent. The air already feels more sustainable. In fact, kindly take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. There are places we cannot do that. So please enjoy it. That's part of it. Thank you so much for that. Just a reminder, Dr. James has just highlighted that if you as well want to see some of the impactful works that are being done, and sure, once we open up the session, visit the booths as well and go and see for yourself some of the practical works that are being done. I made an observation before I call our next speaker, and the observation I've made is a bit of a funny one. It's about how sustainability is connected to our eating habits. When you are young, you would eat for fun, right? As one of my guests is about to come and see. But as you grow older, you're more careful on what you're eating. Have you noticed how the pawpaws and the njugus went very fast? But the pastries are still there. There's something about it, is it? Don't worry, we'll come to the warm water. There are people already asking for more warm water as we go. Thank you so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. And just in line as well, we have in the house the Dr. Stephen Jackson, the UN Resident Coordinator. Please put your hands together for him as he comes as well to speak to us. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And as I begin, thank you, James, for reminding us to hold in our hearts and in our thoughts the late Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, Honourable Raila Odinga. And we remember a quite remarkable life and a quite extraordinary contribution. Ndugu yangu, Daktari James, waheshimiwa viongozi, marafiki, hamjambo. It's a real privilege to be with you today to celebrate what it means to define business responsibility in the arena of sustainability. And allow me to begin, Daktari James, by thanking you and congratulating you, and through you, the board and the entire Equity family. I am a member, you are a member, for the publication of this 2024 Sustainability Report, which is not just a report, but is, I think, a manifesto, a blueprint for how the private sector, for how business and how finance in particular can serve humanity and the planet. At the UN in Kenya, we're really proud to consider equity amongst our closest and most trusted partners in the private sector, a partner that really understands and values the Sustainable Development Goals and sees those goals not simply as moral imperatives, but as sound business opportunities and a part of sound business strategy. Together, we, with Equity, whether that is United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the World Food Programme, UNICEF, IFAD, the International Fund for Agriculture and Development, and many other UN entities from the wider UN Kenya family are already working closely with you, James, to see how Equity's financial inclusion and livelihoods programming are transforming lives, particularly for refugees, for the host communities that have generously welcomed them, for women-led enterprises. And so here I mention the Shirika Plan, this ambitious, I would say visionary opportunity to transform the lives of refugees and host communities together, using Kenya's financial muscle and its economic mainstream. This is already a model for the region, for the continent, and I think for the world, on how the private sector can play a leading role in helping leave no one behind, including some of the most marginal. So Marafiki, this report captures, I think, a year of remarkable impact for Equity. Over 35 million trees planted, actually 35 million and 3, because we did 3 together this morning. 466,000 clean energy products distributed, clear contributions to climate action and Kenya's green transition. Nearly 2.5 million women and young people trained in financial literacy and entrepreneurship, and over 26 billion Kenya shillings invested in sustainable finance, accelerating inclusion and climate smart growth. And yes, Mr. Moderator, how appropriate that we are here in the environs, the beautiful environs of the Arboretum. Actually, my driver, who's just parked outside, sent me a photo of a monkey coming down from the tree, climbing onto the car, onto the bonnet, and kissing the United Nations flag. A very welcome symbol of support for the United Nations at a moment when we're experiencing some challenge around the world. Behind each of these very impressive, but perhaps sometimes abstract seeming totals that Equity can boast of in 2024, behind those numbers are real stories of lives touched, innovation and inclusion. And so it's in that light that I so warmly light that I so warmly welcome Equity's Africa Recovery and Resilience Plan, the ARRP, aligned as it is with the African Union's Agenda 2063, with Agenda 2030 and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, with the Paris Climate Agreement. Together, all of these things, and bolstered by the AARP, offer a powerful demonstration of how Kenya's private sector can lead Africa's green and inclusive transformation. And so we deeply appreciate from the UN side the tri-engine model of economy, social, sustainability. And I think by embracing international sustainability standards, as you have, the ISSB, the GRI, the TNFD, and a whole host of alphabet soup abbreviations of that kind, Equity is setting really impressive benchmarks for responsible finance and corporate citizenship. So, as I conclude, friends, as I've said, getting to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 was always going to be a tall order. And we know that conflict, climate change, COVID, and the cost of capital, it's very convenient. They all begin with C, so they're easy to remember. But those are the challenges that are knocking us off course. And if we're going to prevail together, if Kenya and Africa, and indeed the world, my home country Ireland is nowhere near the SDGs either, by the way. If we're going to hit those SDGs, we need a whole of society approach. Today, here at the Arboretum, we're seeing what that means in practice. And as I look around the room, and as I look to Equity's leadership, we know that this is what a whole of society approach is. A bank that sees people, not just profit. A company that understands resilience is not built in boardrooms, but in the communities that it serves. And a company that understands that it is possible to serve the bottom line and also those at the bottom. On behalf of the entire UN family in Kenya, I congratulate you, not only for what this report represents, Daktari, but for what it inspires. So let us continue to deepen our partnership, mobilize capital for development, and accelerate progress towards a just, inclusive, and sustainable future for Kenyans and for all Africans. Asanteni sana, na hongera sana wewe, ndugu yangu, na timu yaku. Daktari James.
You can applaud better. You know, that's Swahili. Is even more sanifu than others here, right? Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, in the house as well, we have the ambassador of France to Kenya. We have Arnaud Chouquet right here. Bienvenue. Please put your hands together for him as he comes as well to address us. Welcome, sir.
Asante sana rafiki yangu Daktari James, mabalozi, baraza la mabalozi, mabibi na mabwana, hamjamboni nyote. Kopoa. Itifaki zote zingazingatiwa. Jambo la kwanza, mimi pia ningependa kutoa rambi zangu kwa familia wa hayati Raila Odinga na Wakenya wote pia. Baba, lala salama. And let me continue in English and be quite short. Yangu ni mfupi kabisa. First, let me say pongezi to Equity, its leadership, the fraternity of Equity for this sustainability report. I think we were here last year in Karura. We moved to Arboretum, but I think it is a continuous commitment by Equity to advance this issue of sustainability, and it needs to be commended. And I think we can clap for Equity and we can clap for ourselves. I just want to echo what both James and Stephen have said about the value and the forces of partnerships and collaborating together to address these very global challenges. I agree with you, James, that your approach, which is Africa needs to be an actor of change and not a passive victim of decision being made by others, is the way to go. And it is the way we're building this partnership with you. I think we walked the journey with equity since a long time. We start with Proparco to support the private sector and the SMEs in transforming the economy, including by supporting climate resilience agriculture. And I think we have results. What I like with you, James, is that as much as you're an excellent banker in boardrooms, you're also very conscious of the impact. And when I challenge you to see whatever impact we had, you left the boardroom and we went to take gumboots to go in some of the farms in Tika Road, Tika counties, to see avocado farms, to see the real impact of this partnership for the farmers, especially. And as we move forward, I think France and Africa and Kenya will embark in a very significant event next year in May here in Nairobi. We're going to hold this Africa-France Summit, which is dedicated to growth and innovation. And there was no better partner than Equity to nurture the private sector component of that, because as much as government have a role in addressing global challenges, the private sector has a very transformative role. And I think Equity is leading the charge. I know, James, you were in Paris a week ago. You were just sitting in front of President Macron, and you were, pushing a few ideas that we're going to work together, I think, but embodies also this partnership between France and Kenya. And we're very excited to embark into this tea project. We're trying to brand the Kenyan tea as we have branded our own champagne, and then offering added value to the Kenyan farmer by considering this project of geographical indication. So I believe working together, that will be one of the impactful deliverable that we can do together in the course of the next months. But with that said, I want just to congratulate you. I want just to say that